Everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. We're with the Super Formula guys. They League One. They run on a Wednesday evening. For those of you who have not been following us, for those of you who have, you'll know they've had some fantastic races. This week we have come to Germany for round 9, as I said, at the Nurburgring on the Grand Prix circuit, 3.2 miles and 15 turns ahead of us. A little bit more about the track in a minute, though. We will do our usual and have a rundown of the grid. Now, apologies, these races are a little bit late. We've had a lot on this week. No real excuses, so we're just going to crack on with it and bring you these. One race here, and then we've got League 2 to do, which will probably come tomorrow. So, again, apologies for that. But let's have a look and see where everybody is on the grid, and we'll get this 50-minute race underway, shall we? So Wadru has put himself on pole position for the third time in a row, actually, and fourth time overall throughout the races. So Wadru on an absolute roll for pole positions. So well done to him. Although last week he can only manage a fifth, so obviously he's going to want to improve on that. We've got Method just behind him in second. Then we've got Grasshopper in third. Nath is fourth. Brian Moncani is fifth. Last time out, Brian Moncani got a 10th. But in round 7, he actually got a second, so that's something for him to aim at. He wants to get back up there to his winning ways again. Slipped a bit last couple of weeks, but as I say, round 7 managed a second, so that's what he'll be aiming for, I'm sure, today. Willard is in 6th, Bennett is 7th, Unforgiven 8th, and Viking is 9th. So only 9 drivers on the grid, and noticeably 2 of the main characters are not here, and that's Stormfly and Osman. Now, I've not got the table in front of me. I wish I had, but I haven't got the table in front of me, so I will try and get it before next week's race, or this week's race, should I say. But I'm pretty sure Stormfly has run away with this one, really, even though he's missing this week. But like I say, I'll get you the table next week, and we will go from there. Now, as I've said, we're at Nurburgring GP circuit, 3.2 miles, 15 turns. Pretty technical track, actually. Obviously, this is part of the big circuit, but we're not going to go drifting out there into the wilderness. We are staying on the actual Grand Prix circuit for this one. Pretty technical track, actually. I think it's ideally set up for these guys. So, shall we get them started? Yeah, let's crack on with it. 50 minutes, as I've said. All tyre compounds have to be used, so there's going to be at least 2 stops. Different tactics. Oh, not a great start from Method there, and I think it was Nath just behind him actually got off to a flyer and moves up into third. It caught Method out a little bit, that start, as Grasshopper tries to go all the way around the outside. It is Wadru out in front. Then we'll have a look at the tyres in just a second, but Wadru takes us through these first couple of turns through Mercedes Arena at turns 2, 3, and then into turn 4 before heading down towards turn 5 and Ford curve. So it is Wadru, Grasshopper, Nathan third, Brian Moncani, good start from Brian Moncani to sit into 4th. He's got Willard putting him under a lot of pressure though. Willard early doors. Let's jump on board with Willard very early on, as really trying to put the pressure on Brian Moncani as they come down the hill through turn 5 into Ford curve at turn 6. And a quick look behind us, and Method is all over the back of Willard as well. It is all very close at the minute. Where has he gone? There he is. What a fantastic shot that is, as they go up through turns 8 and 9 at Michael Schumacher S's. And it is still Willard in 5th, just losing touch of Brian Moncani, just a little bit up ahead as we go around these next few turns at turn 10, 11 at Warnstein. Then up towards turn 12 before heading to this chicane, the NGK chicane. I'm not going to keep saying that, obviously, but that's what it is at turn 13 and 14. Another quick look behind us, and Method is still there, and we have almost completed lap 1. Unforgiven in 7th with Bennett in 8th and Viking in 9th. So a bit of work ahead of Viking. He is on the hard tyres though, so decided to get them out of the way nice and early. I think it's a minimum of three laps on the hard tyres, or on each compound, should I say. So Viking at the minute down at the back, but he is on those hard tyres. In fact, we'll go up through the grid, shall we? Bennett also on the hards, Unforgiven on the softs. Oh, he really needs to do a bit of catching up, does Unforgiven, especially on the soft tyres before he starts to lose them. He's got Willard just in front of him, also on the softs. Then we've got Method, Brian Moncani. I think the rest of the grid look like they're all on the softs. They are. So it is just the two guys at the back, Viking and Bennett, that have decided to go with the hard tyres early on. So let's hope that tactic pays out for them. Now Wadru out in front. You can see they've got the overtake button. They can start to use it now. I think lap 1 you're not allowed to use it, but Wadru definitely giving it some hammer to try and break away from Grasshopper. He wants to break that slip, doesn't he? Doesn't want to give Grasshopper any kind of advantage and let him get any closer to him. And Wadru, well, doing his usual thing now. He is just trying to get out in front, stay out in front, open up a big enough gap so that when he does come into the pits, it doesn't drop him too far down the grid. Grasshopper just doing his best to stay with him at the minute. Nathan in third, just keeping up with the two guys up ahead, also on the soft tyres. As I say, very tricky track. This is quite technical, and it will punish those tyres. Being a clockwise foot-ice track as well, it will be the outside tyres that take most of the punishment. So in this case, it will be the left-hand side of the car. But we shall see. We shall see. These guys are pretty good actually at looking after the tyres. Method is sitting in fourth. He's got Brian Moncani all over the back of him. Sitting in fifth, Brian Moncani. And he's actually followed Method off the track there. They both went very, very deep in Mercedes Arena at turn 3. But back on track, no penalties picked up. So is the penalty system on or not? We shall see. But Brian Moncani actually getting a good sector in there as he comes around turn 6 at Ford Curve. And Brian Moncani pushing there. Well, we've got to watch it. I didn't realise I hit the live button. But hey, good to have you with us. I thought this was recording. Just shows how out of sorts I really am, doesn't it? But yeah, whoever you are watching, good to have you with us. Willard then sitting in 6th, then Unforgiven. T. Bennett in 8th with Viking down at the back in 9th. Remember them two guys running the hard tyres early doors. There are no real battles at the minute. If we can find somebody, we will jump on it. But they're all spaced out already. We're only on lap 3. And Wadru already starting to open up a bit of a gap and doing what Wadru does. And that's get out in front and stay out in front. As I say, not missing his nemesis at all in the shape of Stormfly. He's not with us for this race. He will be back next week, I'm sure. But I think Stormfly has got this championship pretty much wrapped up, so he can afford to miss one of the races. But Wadru, he's still going to go for maximum points, isn't he? Pushing hard to open that gap back to Grasshopper, and you can see that Bennett has already decided to come in and get rid of those hard tyres. He's had enough. He's done the minimum 3 laps, and Bennett is in and ready to change them tyres. Now then, is Viking going to come? No, Viking has decided to stay out. He's going to do a few more laps on those hard tyres, so he now moves up into 8th. Bennett, well, he's getting some attention now. I thought he'd not quite made it to the pits yet, but he has there. Fuel in. And back out on a set of fresh racing soft. So Bennett back out in 9th then and chasing Viking down. Now then, Wadru's still out in front, although that gap looks like it's closed up. Back to Grasshopper. We'll go on board with Grasshopper, shall we? As we go up through the Michael Schumacher S's turns 8 and 9 up towards turn 10, this left-hander, which then immediately takes you into turn 11 at Warnstein Curve. Down the hill we go through turn 12, which I think this is where the penalty zone is if it's on, and then we're up to the chicane for the 4th time, and Grasshopper getting through there quite successfully with Nath still sticking with them as Grasshopper pushes hard to stay in a slipstream just behind Wadru. There is probably, I can't really judge from this distance, so let's have a look now. Probably half a second, I don't know, what do you think? Half a second between the two of them, but Grasshopper pushing hard just to stay with Wadru. Now let's have a look at them tyres. Now I did say the soft tyres would start to drop off quite early, and you need to use them very early doors, and that's exactly what Wadru's doing, although he's given that overtake button a good old pounding. Grasshopper hasn't used it at all. He's just been relying on the slipstream and sticking with Wadru, so that could prove very costly later on in the race for Wadru. if Grasshopper can stay where he is, just behind him, as I say, not use that overtake at all. Nath, he's used a little bit of it, quarter of the overtake tank. Now, I did ask the question a couple of weeks ago if it affects your main fuel tank, and I got told no, it doesn't. So the overtake is like a little separate. It's a bit like the DRS that they have on the F1 cars, but I don't believe the rear wing opens on this one when you press the overtake button. No, we can get a shot of it, but I'm pretty sure that the rear wing doesn't open, unless I get totally proved wrong in a minute. In fact, let's just stick with Nath. He's not shy of using it, is he? We're just coming up to the chicane, so we're just going to follow Nath through the chicane, and we will go on board and do a full lap with one of the drivers shortly. But I'm just keeping an eye on that little the little overtake symbol down there on the bottom right. There we go. He's hit the button. No, the wing doesn't open, does it? So Nath hitting the overtake to try and give him a boost out of that final turn at turn 15 Coca-Cola curve onto the straight. Now, it is just a short dash. It's only 620 metres from the exit of turn 15 to the entry of turn 1, so you've not a big run there for overtaking. So that's why some of the guys are using that overtake button, just to give them a boost out of the turn. Method sitting in 4th, Brian McCartney then still in 5th. Then we've got Willard in 6th, Unforgiven 7th, with Viking in 8th. Oh, Viking has decided to come in now at the end of lap 5 to get rid of those hard tyres. So Bennett, where's he gone? Bennett has already passed. So Bennett on the softs. He pitted a lap earlier, didn't he? Well, 2 laps earlier actually. So those soft tyres are going to be 2 laps older. Not as old as the guys up ahead though. And Wadru on lap 6 with these soft tyres. I'm sure he's going to want to take them as far as he can. Just approaching half a tank of fuel used, and nearly all the overtake. Now then, as I say, I think that might prove quite costly for him later on in the race. Grasshopper hasn't used any of the overtake juice, and he's not that far behind Wadru actually, and Nath is pushing hard as well. So Nath is creeping up to the back of Grasshopper as they go through the chicane for the 6th time, coming towards the end of lap 6 around Coca-Cola curve at turn 15 onto the straight, and then it is foot firmly on the noisy pedal all the way down towards turn 1. Trying to get in the slipstream there is Nath, but I don't think he's going to get close enough to Grasshopper to put him under any kind of pressure, and he's not very comfortable through there for Grasshopper. Nath sitting in 3rd, Method still holding on there in 4th. Had some good results actually as Method, so you can never write him off for a podium finish. And you know, I like to put my 50p's on people, and well, you know what, I might just stick 50p on Method to get on the podium. I'm not saying he's down for a win, but I think he yeah, they are. My 50p has gone on Method to finish somewhere on the podium. So come on Method, we're rooting for you now. Brian Moncani in 5th though. I'm sure he'll have other ideas, and he'll want to get on the podium himself. Willard in 6th. Now some of these guys will be starting to think about a pit stop. They're maybe not going to come in the next couple of laps, but it will be something at the back of their minds. Unforgiven in 7th. Let's have a look at the fuel on half a tank. So Unforgiven looking after his fuel slightly better than some of the guys ahead of him. Somebody kicking up a lot of dirt there. I think it might have been Brian Moncani. Willard in 6th, it wasn't him. So yeah, Unforgiven looking after the fuel, and definitely looking after that overtake as well. So, ooh, now then, why have we got a yellow flag? Oh, it's Brian Moncani. Let's have a look and see what's happened to Brian Moncani. I think it was him that actually kicked up a bit of dirt earlier on. Oh, there we go, onto the kitty litter. Now, was that enough to slow him down? I don't think it was. I think that was the bit where he kicked up the dirt. So he may have dirty tyres going into the chicane, and oh yeah, he's just caught that curb, and that back end just said no thank you very much sir, and decided to overtake the front. Now that's cost him a place. Got away with that, to be honest. He's only dropped 1 place as we see Grasshopper has come into the pits. So he's decided to pit a bit earlier than Wadru. That surprised me actually. I didn't think Grasshopper had come in just yet. Got plenty of fuel. He's got there's a bit of grip on those tyres as well, so he keeps doing these crazy things, does Grasshopper, and he's coming very early. We're sitting very comfortably in P2, just behind Wadru. No real pressure coming from Nath, although Nath was there, but Grasshopper has decided to make the start a little bit early for me, and he's come out on another set of soft tyres, so Grasshopper going for a 3-stop, it would appear then. Oh, that's interesting. Grasshopper, he did this, he's done this a couple of times on the other couple of occasions. It's not really paid off for him. Now finds himself down in 7th with, well, quite a bit of work ahead of him as he tries to get some heat into those new soft tyres. We've got Bennett just behind then in 8th with Viking in 9th. So Wadru now, well, the pressure's off with Grasshopper coming into the pits. It's up to Nath to try and catch up to the back of him now and put the pressure on Wadru now then, that he's probably looking at a couple of seconds gap there between the two of them. Nath has got Method just behind him. So Method, he'll be pleased with that. He'll have a bit of a smile on his face noticing that Grasshopper's come into the pits. Now Wadru's in as well. Maybe the soft tyres are starting to give up very early, or Wadru may have just noticed that Grasshopper's gone in and thought, wow, there's something going on here, I need to get in there as well. So Nath takes over the lead of this race. Method moves up into 2nd. Willard has gone into 3rd with Brian Moncani, even after that spill, is now in P4. Remember, none of these guys have pitted yet. Unforgiven up into 5th. Wadru, well, he's still taking on some fuel, isn't he? Grasshopper now moves up into 7th. Well, he's gone into 6th. No, 7th. He has gone to 7th, of course, yeah. Then we've got Bennett and Viking down in 8th. Now then, it looks like Wadru has just rejoined behind Grasshopper, so these two have swapped. It is now Wadru's time to chase Grasshopper, and Wadru has come out on a set of mediums, so he's going to go through the tyres as you should do. He's going to go through them in order, isn't he? He started with softs, he's now onto the mediums, and probably he may well go onto the hards and then finish on a set of softs, unless he does another set of softs after that. Oh, and Vodka Rob has joined us. Good evening, how are you? Thank you for joining us. So yeah, Wadru, it's a bit, I can't get my head around some of these tactics really. I mean, these guys obviously know better than I do how long these tyres are going to last. Same with the fuel, because they would have practiced it, but Wadru and Grasshopper both coming in very early. Nath has stayed out, quarter of a tank of fuel, and tyres at about 45-50%, I would say, so no real reason to come in. Yeah, so that I think Nath is probably looking at a 2-stop, whereas Grasshopper and Wadru may be thinking about a 3. But Nath out in front at the minute with Method just behind him. Remember, we have just put my 50p on Method to finish somewhere on the podium, and at the minute it's looking pretty safe, isn't it? It looks like he's got his foot on that 2nd step. Long way to go in this race though. We are only 15 minutes in, and Nath and Method not stopped yet. Willard the same, sitting in 3rd, and Unforgiven. Brian Moncani, none of those guys have stopped yet. Grasshopper has, he came in a couple of laps ago, so did Wadru. Bennett and Viking have both stopped as well, so the guys at the back have all stopped. It's the top 5 that haven't. Grasshopper currently in 6th on his 2nd set of soft tyres. So we would say Grasshopper is definitely on a 3-stopper. Wadru out on a set of mediums. So whether he's going to try and take the mediums and the hards to the end of the race, or he's thinking about a 3-stop as well, but at the minute he's playing catch up to Grasshopper, who does seem to be opening up a bit of a gap. He does have the advantage tyre-wise at the minute. But as I say, with those soft tyres degrading quite quickly, Wadru should be able to start drawing Grasshopper back in again with those medium tyres when they start kicking in. Well, pretty soon actually. It doesn't take long to get the medium tyres up to temperature. And there we have Method in P2 has decided to come in. So yeah, it's very staggered, these pit stops. The Method, oh, Vodka Rob saying he likes Method's livery. Yeah, it is pretty cool actually, isn't it? If he's done that himself, we say congratulations. We'll get a proper look at that in a minute, Rob. When he comes out, we'll get a proper look at that. What I want to do is, I'm going to do a lap with somebody that's pitted, because obviously we don't. So we'll go on board with Wadru, shall we? He's just crossed the start-finish line, then down into turn 1. This very tight right-hander. Straight into turn 2 at Mercedes Arena, which is turns 2 and 3. It's almost like a big continuing left-hander. As soon as you come out of turn 3, you're immediately thrown into this right-hander of turn 4, using as much track as you can on the outside there. Then you're down a long straight then towards turn 5, a left-hander. Turn 6 at Ford Curve, another big sweeping right-hander. Then it is put down towards Dunlop Curve, the hairpin bend at the bottom of the hill. A quick look behind us, no pressure at all as we go around Dunlop Curve at turn 7. Then we start a bit of a climb then up through the Michael Schumacher S's at turns 8 and then 9. Turn 10, left-hander, a relatively easy left-hander. And then into turn 11 at Warnstone Curve. And then we start on down the hill again, past the penalty zone, into turn 12. And then up towards NGK chicane at turns 13 and 14. Very tricky chicane, that one. Those curves are quite high. And then into Coca-Cola Curve, which is the final turn at turn 15. And then back on the power again and across the start finish line. So that was a lap with Wadru. So thank you very much to Wadru for taking us around. As he moves up into 5th, Brian Mulcahy into the pits then. Method, he's back out now then. We said we'll have a look at this livery, didn't we? And let's have a look at this, the Telefonica stuff. Yeah, that is, there's a lot of work gone into that one, isn't there? So fantastic job for Method. Currently sitting in 6th on the medium tyres. Just behind him in 7th is Bennett. You can see Method up ahead. Bennett on some soft tyres, although they are quite well worn now. I think he came in lap 3, didn't he? So what are they now? 9 laps old, those soft tyres. We've got Viking in 8th, also on a set of soft tyres. Brian Mulcahy, after his pit stop, he decided to come out on the medium, so Brian Mulcahy may be thinking about only doing a 2-stop, whereas Grasshopper and Wadru looks like they may be doing a 3. Willard currently out in front, but he is going to have to pit. You can see the fuel lights on, and there's not enough fuel there to take him to the end of the race. So Willard into the pits. Unforgiven. Is he going to come in? Let's keep an eye on him. I think he might, but he could stay out if he wanted. And I think he is going to stay out. Yeah, Unforgiven is going to get one more lap out of that tank. So I think Unforgiven's going to take the lead. Maybe he just fancies having a go at being the leader for a lap. So that's what Unforgiven does. He leapfrogs over Willard. Grasshopper now moves back up into P2, soon to be P1. Remember, Grasshopper has already made a stop. This is his 2nd set of soft tyres, so he's going to be thinking about another stop shortly. Wadru in 3rd, currently on a set of medium tyres. Hardly any overtake juice left, Wadru, and we did say, didn't we, very early on that he may well regret that. He used quite a lot of it up trying to break the toe back to Grasshopper early in the race. And that may well come back to bite him. We shall see. We shall see. I do like the livery of that one as well, actually. The Ferrari one. It's simple, but it's pretty effective, isn't it? Then we've got Nath in 4th. In fact, all the liveries are pretty cool, actually. There's some good work gone into them. So well done. Hats off to all the guys that done the liveries for these Super Formula cars. Nath in 4th. He's made a stop. He is out on some hard tyres. So he'll just be looking to try and maintain 4th now. And let's have a look behind him. He's got Method behind him. Method on the mediums, and it does look like he's closing quite quickly as well. His Method now. We've got him down as a podium finish for Method. So, excuse me, he needs to get his skates on if he's going to keep my 50p safe. Bennett down in 6th. Unforgiven then has come in. So Unforgiven into the pits. Grasshopper takes over the lead of the race, using that overtake. So it's Grasshopper's turn now to try and get away from Wadru, try and use those tyres as much as he possibly can before they start to go. So Grasshopper on the softs, and he is starting to lose them a little bit. I would say they're about 30 to 40% wear on those tyres, so he is starting to lose them a little bit. Wadru on a set of mediums that are looking very healthy, so this is Wadru's time to start pushing. Wadru incidentally got the fastest lap of 1:35.5. Now he did that on lap 5, so that would have been while he's on a set of soft tyres. So let's just have a look at Grasshopper, and well, he's been putting 37s on the set of this set of soft tyres. His last 3 laps have been 1:37s. So not quick enough, because Wadru has been doing some 37s on the medium tyres. So Wadru maintaining the gap between himself and Grasshopper now, as those tyres really start to get their grip, and Grasshopper starts to lose his. Method sitting in third. He's on the mediums. He's in the 1:37s as well now. Starting to find his pace is Method. Nath in fourth. Well, he's had a couple of 1:36s, hasn't he? So not that far off, but again, that would have been on the softer tyres. He is on the hard, so yeah, we expect bigger higher lap times from Nath on those hard tyres. But doing a good job is Nath, actually, to hold on to fourth. He's not that far behind Method. So he just needs to keep it up. He just needs to keep the car on the tarmac, facing the right way. We are fast approaching halfway through this race. Yeah, and Vodkarov saying he likes the Ferrari one as well. Yeah, I think they all look good, mate. I really do think they all look good. Willard sitting in fifth. It's a very lonely race for Willard, isn't it? Look at it. He's the only one on the start-finish straight, sitting in fifth. I'm sure he won't mind being all on his lonesome at the minute. Okay for fuel, okay for tyres. So Willard just made his stop, so he's got a good few laps ahead of him. So it's time to start pushing now then for Willard. Unforgiven in 6. He's out on the medium tyres now. Changed the softs for the mediums, and he's got a rear view mirror full of Brian Moncani. Let's go on board with Brian Moncani. Now we've got 2 cars close enough to each other as we come around turn 4. the right-hander, as Brian Moncani tries to get into the slipstream of Unforgiven. Not really going to make much difference to slipstream through these turns, but when you get on these short straights like now, the run on down towards Dunlop curve at turn 7 is the slipstream will start to come in, and you can see Brian Moncani really pulling in Unforgiven there around the hairpin bend at turn 7, then back on the power. And Brian Moncani wants to stay with him. He may even be thinking about trying to make the move at the end of as he comes out of turn 9. No, he's decided to go for it now, but very risky. Gets himself up onto the kitty litter, but survives and makes that move stick. So a good move from Brian Moncani. Around we go at turn 11. And he's starting to pull away as well from Unforgiven. Some fantastic racing from Brian Moncani. I thought it was a bit risky, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Both on the medium tyres as well. So brilliant stuff from Brian Moncani to take him up to 6th. Like I say, the last couple of rounds has not been too great for Brian Moncani. He got 10th, I think it was, last week. And I think he was 7th or something the week before. But week 7 he'd gone on the podium. So that's what we're used to seeing from Brian, and I'm sure that's what he's got in his mind for this race as well. But he's got a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to get onto the podium. But if he keeps doing moves like that, who knows? So that's Unforgiven then down to 7th. Then we've got Bennett in 8th with Viking down at the back. Not really seen much of Viking, have we? Let's have a look and see the livery for Viking. Old Repsol stuff. Again, a fair bit of work gone into these cars, isn't there? There's a nice looking Super Formula car there from Viking. Currently down in 9th. He's on those soft tyres. Now then, let's have a look at his lap times. His best is a 1:37.7, so He is about 2 seconds off the pace of Wadru's fastest lap, but very inconsistent. I think that's the problem with Viking there. He's had a few moments looking at those times, and it's a bit inconsistent. He just needs to find his rhythm in this car and settle down. Lap 15 of the last lap was a 1:39.3. He would have been on the soft tyres as well, and they are starting to go as well. So yeah, Viking, I think he just needs to settle into this race and just do his thing. He is a quick guy, is Viking, and being down there in 9th this far behind, it really doesn't justify it. He is a quick guy, but struggling at the minute. He is struggling. Somebody who isn't struggling though is Grasshopper, out in front. Seriously thinking about a stop now, surely. His tyres looking a bit sorry for themselves. He's just under a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Wadru just over a quarter of a tank, and tyres looking very healthy. He's gone straight into the mediums, so started on the softs, straight into the mediums for Wadru, whereas Grasshopper stopped very early on for another set of softs, so he's used 2 sets of softs already as Grasshopper, so mediums and hards to come for him. So Wadru may well be thinking about taking over the lead of this race when Grasshopper does finally come in. I would say probably another 2 laps really for Grasshopper. We've got Method in 3rd, again looking very comfortable tyre wise. It may be the fuel that forces Method in. 3rd at the minute. Just look in the background, we can see Nath just come around turn 15 and onto the start finish straight, so a good few seconds gap between Method and Nath sitting in 4th at the minute. Nath on the hard tyres though, so he is doing a good job actually, and staying 4th, and there is quite a gap actually back to Willard on the mediums. Willard, let's have a look at his laps. Well, I think it's 1:38, so not too bad actually for Willard. Very lonely race though for him. Same with Brian Moncani now. He's managed to pull away from Unforgiven. Brian Moncani really has opened that gap after that fantastic move. Just after through the Michael Schumacher S's, he pulled off a brilliant move. I thought it was a bit risky, but it turned out to be a great move. Got past Unforgiven and has now started to run away from him. Unforgiven just cannot keep up with Brian Moncani. Let's have a look at Unforgiven's pace then. Well, again, it's a bit mixed, isn't it? 38s, 39s in 16 and 17, but previous laps to that are 41. Obviously the pit stop was in there somewhere. I think back around about lap 14 was the pit stop, but again, very mixed bag of lap times for Unforgiven. Again, just needs to settle into the car. Bennett just behind him in 8th, and he's looking very closely at the rear end of Unforgiven and thinking about making a move. Let's have a look. Bennett on the soft tyres and Unforgiven on the mediums, so Bennett just about got the advantage at the minute. Those tyres at their best. Yeah, would you say at the best? They are starting to wear, but I think he's probably got about another 2 laps before they start to drop off, as Bennett applies the old overtake juice to catch up to the back of Unforgiven as they go up the hill towards the chicane. Bennett's not going to have a look up the inside, surely. No, he just hooks up behind Unforgiven again. Now if he can just hold on around Coca-Cola curve and use that slipstream, he may even get himself on the old overtake juice as well, but he needs a good exit out of turn 15, and he's got it, and as Bennett pulls to the inside, and this is going to be an easy overtake for Bennett. He has got the advantage as far as the tyres go. Unforgiven, not really much he could do about that, and he knew that. He just didn't even fight it, did he? He just stood his ground and let Bennett go by. So Unforgiven now down into 7th. Bennett needs to try and open up a gap, the same as what Brian Moncani did, because he's going to have to come into the pits, I think, a little bit before Unforgiven on the medium tyres, and a slightly more fuel as well. So yeah, Bennett's really got to push. Now then, let's have a look. Viking is into the pits. Change of tyres for him. Is Grasshopper coming in? Yeah, Grasshopper's going to have to come in. He's about out of fuel. Now then, Wadru should keep going. No, he's coming to the pits as well. So Wadru's into the pits as well. Now that surprised me actually. I thought he might go for one more lap, but he's followed Grasshopper in. Now Wadru has used a set of softs and a set of mediums Is he going to go straight onto the hard tyres? Grasshopper, he's used 2 sets of softs already, so he's got the mediums and hard, so at least another stop after this one for Grasshopper. Method sitting in P3, he's come in as well. Now then, where is Willard? Willard in 4th, he's just gone around turn 15. Is he going to take over the lead? We've got the fuel starting to go into Grasshopper's car. Method is out, so Method comes back out in front. Oh, it's wheel to wheel around turn 1. Method just gets his nose in front, so a short stop for Method. I don't think he's took too much fuel on board. He's just I think he's going to do the minimum 3 laps on the hard tyres, but that was so close as he came out of the pit. Just ahead of Willard in 2nd. Now Willard is on the mediums, so he's going to push now, isn't he, and try and take that lead away from Method. Willard Woodrow has rejoined in 3rd, and he's on to a set of hard tyres. Now then, he's not going to make them last. I'm just looking at the fuel, and I think Woodrow has just took enough fuel on to do it, give him a few laps. He's going to come in, change to another set of softs, I'm sure, get enough fuel to take him to the end of the race, and that's what Wadrew's going to do. So it is a 3-stop for Wadrew, the same as it will be for Grasshopper as well. Now out on the medium tyres, sitting in P4, but he has got to use the hard, so Grasshopper saving the hard tyres till the last stint of this race. This is going to get very tight towards the end now. If you remember earlier on in the race, I put 50p on Method to finish somewhere on the podium. At the minute, well, he's got his foot on the big step. I don't think he's going to hold on to it though, because he is on those hard tyres. We've got Willard chasing him down on the mediums, although the fuel is going to probably bring him in. Method is definitely going to come into the pits within the next couple of laps. I think he just wants to do the minimum on those hard tyres. Wadrew sitting in 3rd. I think he's doing the same actually. I think he's going to do the minimum number of laps on those hard tyres, and then he'll be back in again to change onto a set of softs. Grasshopper in 4th. Already used 2 sets of softs, as I've said. He's out on a set of mediums, so he may well go till, well, the last few laps and then come in and do the last 3 laps. Maybe 4 on the hard tyres for Grasshopper. So it's going to get very tight, isn't it, towards the end of this race. Brian Moncarney down there in 5th. Let's have a look at the gap. It's not that massive actually from Brian Moncarney to Grasshopper. Still got quite a bit of work ahead of him, Brian Moncarney, but if anyone can do it, Brian Moncarney can. He's on those medium tyres. Fuel not looking too great for him though. Just under half a tank, so he's going to have to pit within the next couple of laps. Then we've got Bennett in 6 on some pretty worn soft tyres. Well, I say pretty worn, about 45% wear on the front left for Bennett. Nath down in 7th, having made another stop. He's out on medium tyres with Unforgiven in 8th. And Viking in 9th. Never really got into this race, has he, Viking? As I say, the position doesn't justify it for him. He's a lot better than this. He's just, I don't think, quite gelled with the car. Maybe it's the track. Maybe he just doesn't like the track. But yeah, down in 9th is not where we're used to seeing Viking. Tough race for him today. So our leader, Method, still out in front on those hard tyres, having a fantastic race. He must be loving this at the minute. I can't remember when he pitted actually, so I think he's going to be coming in the next couple of laps to get onto a softer compound. Willard still sitting there in 2nd on those mediums, still looking good, but quarter of a tank of fuel, so he's not going to make it to the end of the race, is he? He's got one more stop to make. Wadrew still on those hard tyres with half a tank of fuel. Looking quite good actually is Wadrew. Definitely for a podium finish, sitting there in 3rd. We've got Brian Moncarney in 4th, and the fuel not looking fantastic for Brian Moncarney. Maybe not pushing as hard as I thought he would. And there we go, the fuel light is starting to flash for him as he heads down towards turn 10. So Brian Moncarney may well be looking at pitting at the end of this lap as he goes around turn 11 then, and starts to make his way towards the chicane, and I believe the pit entry is just after the chicane, so we'll just stick with Brian Moncani to see whether he comes in or whether he fancies getting another lap in as he thumps across those curbs. And there we go, Brian Moncani in then, and Method now then, as predicted, he's done the minimum laps on the hard tyres, the same as Wadru, so Method is in, Wadru is in, Brian Moncani, as we've just seen, has come in. So that means Willard has now taken over the lead of this race for the second time, I think. But Willard will get that fuel light flashing at him very shortly. So Willard will soon be in. Bennett has now moved up into P2. But he's going to have the same problem. Well, the tyres are looking a bit worn now, and they're going to start to hurt him. He's got Grasshopper bearing down on him. Grasshopper on the medium tyres with 3/4 tank of fuel, so a good few laps left in Grasshopper, although he hasn't used the hard tyres yet. I wonder if he knows. Yeah, of course he knows. It's a strategy of his, isn't it? He stops more than most people. He knows what tyres he's had on, of course he does. But he has got to use those hard tyres, and I think he'll wait until the last 3 or 4 laps. That's my guess anyway. Nath sitting there in 4th. I keep looking at the map at the top right hand corner to see if we can find any cars that are actually a lot closer and battling away, but we can't really find anyone. Unforgiven in 5th. I think he's got one more stop to make. Method then. Method out on a fresh set of soft tyres. Just under 3/4 of a tank now then. Is that enough to get him to the end of the race, I wonder? Method in 6th at the minute, but all the guys ahead of him have yet to make another stop. So we'll keep an eye on him. As I say, my money's on Method for a podium finish. Wadru in 7th, looking good. He's out on a fresh set of soft tyres as well. Just over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So maybe the two of them do feel confident of getting to the end of this race on that the amount of fuel they've got. Otherwise, well, they would have put more fuel in, wouldn't they? So they have obviously practiced this one. Brian Moncani now out on hard tyres with just over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So I'm guessing then, judging by, as Brian Moncani goes off to cut some grass, it's this way, Brian, come back, come back. There you go, he's back on the tarmac. But look at the state of those tyres. Really has got to try and be, well, he's on the straight anyway, so he should be able to burn that lot off. Otherwise, you've got to be very, very careful. So, yeah, give it a bit of a wiggle, Brian. Make sure those tyres are properly clean, especially the hard tyres as you're going into turn 1. This could get a bit dicey for him, but seems to get round there okay. Oh, just as I say that, the back end gives him a proper good squirrel, and he gets all sorts of wrong at Mercedes Arena. But fighting that car to get it back in line as he goes through turn 4. Those tyres should be cleaned off now. So Brian Moncani having a bit of a struggle there in P8. We're going to go up to the top and see what's happening, as Willard has got to come into the pits as he bounces his way through the chicane. So Willard, current race leader, is coming into the pits. Bennett will follow him, which then leaves Grasshopper to take over the lead again. So, so far, Grasshopper playing an absolute blinder. I thought he pitted way too early. It was, I can't remember, what was it, like 5, 6 or something like that? It was definitely way too early for my liking, but so far it seems to have paid off as Grasshopper takes over the lead of this race again. Now he has got to make one more stop and get onto those hard tyres. We're into the last 10 minutes. So, Grasshopper will be thinking about a stop. Maybe in the next couple of laps, I would imagine. He doesn't want to run out of time, and he doesn't want to get penalised for not using all compounds of tyres. But yeah, Grasshopper will be in the next couple of laps. Nath currently sitting in P2 with Method in P3 and Wadru in P4. Now I think Nath has got to make one more stop. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I should have wrote it down, but I'd have probably lost the bit of paper as I write it down anyway, so I won't bother. So Nathan P2 currently, but I'm pretty sure he's got to start. Method, he's done all of his stops if he can make the fuel last. Same with Wadru as well. Both on a set of soft tyres, Audrey was slightly better fuel, but he's got no overtake juice left. Method, on the other hand, has got more than half. Wadru used most of his overtake juice up in the early laps, just trying to get away from Grasshopper. And I think we said very early on that I think that would come back and bite him. He's currently sitting in 4th. Could still be looking at a podium though, could Wadru. I'm just keeping my eye on Grasshopper. He's not coming in this lap. He does need to think about it though, because he's got to get onto a set of hard tyres. I'm sure he hasn't used any hard tyres yet. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Let's have a look, see what's happening elsewhere. Unforgiven is sitting in 5th, with Willard having made his stop. Out on a fresh set of hard tyres and just over half a tank of fuel, so he's obviously thinking that's enough to take him to off, with Brian Moncani behind him in 8th, and then we've got Viking down in 9th. So all eyes really on Grasshopper and whether he's going to make one more stop and go on to the hard tyres. Brian Moncani is in, he's decided to come into the pit, so is he going to get rid of those hard tyres? We're just going to keep an eye on Grasshopper to see whether he comes in as he heads up towards turn 10 for the 26th time. So these guys really do fly around. Grasshopper very steady with his laps, 137, 137, 138. Fastest lap still owned by Wadru, or 135, which he did, I think it was on lap 5. Very early on when he had the soft tyres on. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was very early on. So Grasshopper, I'll keep an eye on him. He's not coming in again. So he is, he's in, there we go. We did say, didn't we, that he was going to come in. He's going to go onto those hard tyres. Now then, let's have a look. Who else is coming in? Anybody? No, Nath is staying out. He's moved up and now into P1. So Nath is now the new leader of this race. Grasshopper is into the pits. Method moves up into P2. Where is Wadru? Wadru across the start finish line. He now moves up into P3. Grasshopper, he's absolutely screaming at the guys. Get them tyres on. He is back out. Now then, let's have a look. He's on those hard tyres, which he has to run. I don't think that Grasshopper is going to be able to catch the guys up. We have about just under 6 minutes to go. Nath is leading this race at the minute. Just looking at the fuel, just over a quarter of a tank for Nath. Is he going to have to do a bit of fuel saving? Method, a little bit more fuel. The tyres starting to wear, but Method currently sitting in P2 with Wadru chasing him down. Wadru, plenty of fuel, slightly under half a tank, and tyres looking good for Wadru. So at the minute, the top 3, Nath on the higher step, Method just behind him with Wadru sitting in 3rd. Grasshopper made that 3rd stop, but was it 3rd? So yeah, 2 sets of softs, mediums and now hards for Grasshopper, currently in 4th, and a bit of a gap between himself and Wadru. We can't tell how many seconds it is. I wish they'd sort that out. I say that's every race, don't I? So I really do wish they'd sort this out and get it. Is it called a delta, where they put the times up? That's what we want to see, because things are going to start getting very, very tight now. Let's just jump on board with Nathan. We'll have a look behind us and see where Method is. Well, that's quite a gap at the minute, isn't it? So as it stands, Nath looking very good for the win on those mediums. So come on, Nath, keep it together. Method in 2nd with Wadru in 3rd. We are about 4.5 minutes of this race to go. Grasshopper sitting in 4th. I think there's a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to get on the podium. He's on the hard tyres as well, so that's a big ask. Willard is sitting in 5th. He's got Bennett just behind him though. Is Bennett going to have a look as they go across the start finish line? Bennett is going to have a bit of a sniff up the inside. It is a bit late, but he's got there. Now then, can he get that car slowed down and around the corner? Yes, Willard just moves over to give him a bit of racing room. So Bennett, a good pass for him on the mediums, Willard on the hard. So I think that's probably why Willard didn't fight that too hard. He's on those the harder compound tyres, but a great move from Bennett. I thought he'd left it just a little bit too late, but no. He used those medium tyres to good advantage there and takes himself up into 5th. Willard now down to 6th with Unforgiven in 7th and a long, long way off. So Unforgiven, the best he's going to be hoping for is to finish in 7th, I think. Where is Brian Moncani? Oh, and Brian's picked up half a second. He's had an absolute nightmare, hasn't he, this race? Already he's found a bit of the grass, he's found some of the kitty litter, he's used a bit of the track, and now he's got himself half a second penalty as well. So really not been his race. We were hoping for better things from Brian today, but couldn't quite get into it, and really the luck has not been with him as we follow him down the hill now to Dunlop Curve. So Brian McCartney got a half second penalty to serve. It's not going to affect his track position as Viking is just too far away down in 9th. So back up to the top with, let's have a look at the time, about 2.5 minutes to go. Nath just needs to keep it on the track, hold it together. The gap's there for him as Wadru has moved. Oh, we've missed that. What's happened? Let's go back. We're going to go back. Going to go back quite a way, but Wadru was sitting in 3rd, wasn't he, and chasing Method. Now then, what's happened to Method? Because both on the soft tyres, but Wadru, well, Method just seems to be going very, very slowly as Wadru flies on by him just as they get to the chicane. So Wadru got the job done before they hit the chicane and moves up into 2nd. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Method. He just seemed to be going very, very slowly. So is it fuel saving? I very much doubt it. He's got a quarter of a tank. But Method into the slipstream then of Wadru. Is he going to make a move on him as they get down towards turn 1? He's got some overtake juice, and maybe he's forgot he's got it because he's not using it as Wadru starts to open up a bit of a gap. Method needs to hit that overtake and try and stay with Wadru. Maybe he's struggling a little bit. Wadru does have slightly better tyres. Method just worn them out just a little bit more, but not much in it, and the gap is definitely opening up between Wadru and Method. Maybe Method's just quite happy to take P3, but the gap is definitely opening up. Now then, where is Grasshopper? I think he's just too far back at the minute. We are just near approaching the last 2 minutes of this race. So Grasshopper, I think, has either got to hope that one of the 3 guys ahead of him has a bit of a mishap and he can get onto the podium, but I think that's about the only way he's going to do it. He's on those hard tyres, so the 3 guys ahead of him all looking good. Nath, he's on mediums. Did I say he was on hard? I can't remember if I said I was on hard tyre, but no, Nath's on the medium tyres. If I did say hard, I apologise. I don't know what I'm looking at. But Nath out in front at the minute. Wadru doing his absolute best to catch up with him. Wadru really pushing hard now. He has got the fastest lap, a 1:35.5. His last lap was a 1:36.4, so just over a second slower than his fastest, but still pushing is Wadru. Now then, is this the last lap? I believe this is going to be the last lap for these guys, so Nath just needs to hold on. Let's have a look in the background as we see that shot there. We're just looking to see Wadru coming round the corner. There he is, just in the distance. There is a couple of seconds gap between them. Wadru in 2nd, Method still in 3rd, Grasshopper 4th, then Bennett, Willard in 6th, Unforgiven in 7th, Brian Moncani in 8th with Viking down in 9th. We may as well stay with our race leader as the fuel light has come on, so hopefully this is the last lap for him. We are into the last minute as Nath comes around turn 7 at Dunlop Curve, and Nath has come on leaps and bounds. Yeah, he has. He's really putting in the work, Rob. He deserves this win. So he's just got to keep it straight as we go through turns 10 up towards turn 11, and it looks like Nath could get this. Where is Wadru? He's not that far behind. Method sitting in 3rd. Oh, look how close they are now. I think Nath is just being a little bit cautious. He's aware of the fuel light flashing, but he's going to hit the chicane first, and that is what's important. Nath into that chicane. Just keep it on the track as Wadru dives across the corner. I'll be surprised if he doesn't pick up a penalty for that one. But Nath around the final turn at Coca-Cola Curve for the last time, and it is going to be Nath with a fantastic victory. Well done to him. Wadru in 2nd, Method in 3rd. Well, Wadru did everything he could, didn't he? Couldn't quite catch him up. Great job Nath and Vodka Rob says, congratulations. Yeah, come on, Method, get out of the way. Grasshopper will cross the line in 4th. Bennett, is he going to take 5th? Yes, he is. There is nobody next to him. So Bennett across the line in 5th then as he comes around the final turn. Well done to him. Willard, a bit of a lonely race for Willard, but he's finished in 6th, so some good points picked up there by Willard. Unforgiven, well, just approaching the chicane now. Oh, and Vikings already finished. Sorry, we missed that one, but we'll stay with Unforgiven now as Unforgiven comes around the final turn to take 7th. So again, decent points for him. And Brian Moncani will, in dramatic style, go across the line to take 8th. Not his best of races, it has to be said, for Brian Moncani, but well, he's enjoying himself out there, isn't he? Look. Or can he do some donuts? Is he going to do any? There we go. Just a bit of showboating from Brian Moncani, and he finishes in 8th when he eventually crosses the line. There we go. All done. So that was round 9. Only one more race to go next week. Hopefully we'll get some of the boys back. Stormfly, Oz especially. No clue where we are next week, so it's going to be a surprise for me as much as it is for you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to the guys that joined us. Rob, good to have you with us. Remember, if you did enjoy these races, please hit that like button. And I'm going to be back, well, it's probably going to be tomorrow now for League 2 of the Super Formulas. So join me for that. And we've also got our Sunday season. We started the Sunday season this week, so I will be bringing that to you as well, hopefully tomorrow. And I'm covering the... well, I'm calling it League 1, but it's not. It's the professionals top split. Rob saying always a good watch. Thank you very much, my friend. Always good to have you along for the ride. Yeah, well, join us for the top split 1. I've seen in the chat, it sounds like a fantastic race. I'm really looking forward to that one. We've been asking for it for so long to get all of the top guys in the Ultimate Racing League in one league, and it's finally happened. So look out for that one. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I shall catch you all very soon.